All right, today's the day that we charge up the collars for the dogs, the fence collar and the GPS collar. So to do that, I lock them in their kennel so they can't get loose since they don't have their fence collar on. I don't know if everybody has a charging drawer in their kitchen full of cables and crap, but we do, and that's where we charge the dogs' tracker collars. Here's the kitchen junk drawer, and there's a plug in there. So I charge these trackers, these GPS trackers up once a week. That seems to be plenty enough. I keep the batteries always at half power, or I should say I don't let them go lower than half power, because that way if the dog does get out, you've got enough battery left in the device to actually track them. And it does drain the juice a lot faster when it's in tracking mode, when they've gotten loose and you're tracking them. So once a week works out pretty good. So I don't know if you've ever seen the dog collars that accept these Apple AirTags in them. These only work if your animal is near an iPhone. Okay, so if your animal runs off in the woods or it's in a place where there's no other iPhones, these can't transmit their location. So these aren't a great solution unless you think your dog's going to be near an iPhone when it gets loose.
One time our dogs got loose, and if it wasn't for these GPS trackers, we literally never would have found them again. Here's our house. This is our property, all these trees and the woods in this area here. The dogs had gotten away from my daughter when she was younger, and they had their leashes on and they pulled out of her hand. And those dogs ran for 3 days, and they left our house here. They went all the way into this forest, into this woods area, and they made their way to this national park trail system. And they got on this trail and they ran all this way down the trail until they came to this lake. And along the lake, they continued on the trail, and there's like a gate, like a security gate, because now once you cross the security gate area, all this land in the center of our state, it's like 100,000 acres in the middle of Washington state. This is the reservoir where most of the water for the state of Washington, Oregon, and California comes from. This water is shipped all the way down to California, and so it's highly secure. There's big fences, like Jurassic Park level fencing, all the way around this area. So even though we could see on the tracker that they were in here, we were not permitted to go in and chase them, and we just had to wait for them to come out of this 100,000 acres. And these dogs, they zigzagged all over this wilderness area, and they came out again. My house is over here, and they went all the way. They zigzagged through this wilderness area for 3 days, and they popped out. There's a little town down here called Black Diamond, and they did. I looked at the tracker measures how many steps they do, and we computed that into miles. And those dogs had done over 100 miles of zigzagging, and then they popped out in Black Diamond. So once we saw them pop out, on the tracker, we just drove all the way around that area, and then literally were able to drive right up to them. And they just looked at us like, hey, what are you doing here? And they just hopped in the truck. Like, okay, we're ready to go home, thanks for the ride. So anyways, these trackers really work. They're excellent. We do sell them. They're called the Whistle Go. That's the brand we use, and we do sell them on our shop as well.